Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass. I have so much to tell you, but firstly and most excitingly, I have now found and bought the car that I will be using for the majority of Drive the World. You join me down at Porsche Guildford. There are some customers lurking around, so I'm trying to speak in a quieter voice than usual as to not disturb them. But today's not actually collection day. I will of course be shortly showing you the car and talking you all around it, but I won't be driving it away, and that is because in general I've left things very last minute, and this car needs to go on a boat to its first destination, the start point of Drive the World, into our, actually I don't know when this video is going out, but on the 1st of November, which is unbearably soon, and there are a lot of things that need to happen to the car and with the car before it goes, and I'm worried on the actual collection day I'm going to be flapping too much to make a proper video. So yes, let's go check it out. I will reveal it, sit in it for the first time, see it for the first time, and I'm a bit nervous. Let's go. Now, in case you missed my last video, which was actually filmed a couple of weeks or so ago now, I woke up one morning and realised the cars that I was sort of test driving or looking at, the Merc E63 or the Audi RS4 Macan GTS, just weren't doing it for me. I'm only ever going to do this trip once in my life. I'm going to be spending nearly 12 months in a car, doing a huge amount of miles, doing days where I'm going to do 10-hour drives for 3 consecutive days. I need to have a car that I love, that excites me, that makes me want to get in it and drive it. And as incredible and as practical as those cars were, they weren't lighting a fire in me. And over the last 12 to 18 months, I have fallen in love with the Porsche brand. My Cayman ownership helped with that, but in general, I just get it. And so I started looking at 911s because, as sort of crazy as they are, they're also incredibly usable. And I discovered that when I drove the 911 GTS in Monterey earlier this year. It just does everything so well. Now, most normal people would look at 996 or 997 911s because they've already depreciated a little bit, they're cheaper to get into and maybe easier to get out of. But I'm not like normal people, I'm a madman. I like new shiny things, and I started looking at 991 911s, so I can't go any further in this video without saying a huge thank you, a massive I owe you everything thank you to Magnitude Finance, who without them none of this would be possible. These guys have financed my last 6, 7 cars, but what they've done this time around is, it's almost unbelievable, because I don't think I even need to begin to explain to you how complicated it is to finance a car which you're then going to take to all these different countries in the world and use in the way that I'm going to be using. But somehow they've managed to do it, and I feel like I need to do a separate video explaining that. But yes, Magnitude, I love you, you're incredible, you're my heroes. So as I said, I was looking at 991 911s, and I was trying to work out which of the sort of model range would really tick all the boxes I wanted to get ticked, because it does need to still have a little bit of space, be usable, be relatively good on fuel. You know, I couldn't get a GT3 RS, as cool as that would have been. It would have just been mad. I mean, the ride is hard enough that my back would have been broken 3 miles into whatever country I was driving in. So then I found this model, or I remembered this model, and the more I looked into it, the more it made sense, and it ticked so many of the boxes, and I got more and more excited. And anyway, let's stop talking, let's get on with it, let's reveal the car that I'm going to be using for the majority of Drive the World, a 911 Carrera T. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, my 911 Carrera T. I can't quite believe it. I'm going to be spending so much time with this car, and this is the very first time I've seen it to date. Alex, who you'd have seen doing the lovely cover removal, has only sent me sort of, you know, very tiny pictures of it. So this is the first time I'm seeing it in the flesh and inspecting all the details, and I have to say I love it. You will probably notice, first and foremost, the roof bars, the roof rails. That is because there is the plan to put put a roof box on top of the car for additional storage. But why the Carrera T? Actually, should I? No, let me show you the car first, and then I'll talk to you about why I've gone with the Carrera T. So as you can see, currently GT Silver. I'll be completely honest with you, it's going to get wrapped. There is a sort of Drive the World livery coming, courtesy of Yanamai. So whilst this paintwork is beautiful, it's not going to be the main colour for the trip. You get these special sort of Carrera T wheels that are in this sort of dark gunmetal grey, which match the mirrors there. You've got a Carrera T decal, slightly different front bumper, I believe. But apart from that, around the sort of exterior, there's not a huge amount that points it out to being anything more than a 911 Carrera. Obviously got the T badge there, sports exhaust. This is the lightweight glass. I don't know if you can actually see that, it's quite hard to visually see, but it was a special sort of feature of the Carrera T to bring down the weight of the car. I've just noticed as well that these grills are in that same gunmetal grey. That's going to look awesome when the colour changes. It's kind of hidden a little bit at the moment, but I think that will pop. Let me open the doors and show you inside. You will notice two rather controversial things for a Carrera T. Firstly, comfort seats. I think that's probably goes without saying. I'm going to be doing so many miles in this car that I really didn't want the bucket seats. Whilst they do save a bit of weight, they're just hard to get in and out of, and they are comfy, but comfort seats were the way I wanted to go. More controversially, I'll get in properly. PDK, yes, kind of goes against everything that the Carrera T stands for. It was supposed to be this sort of lightweight driver's car with this special manual gearbox. However, I am going to be sharing the driving of this car with other people throughout the year. You know, the car will arrive in some destinations before I get there, and shipping companies and dealerships and various other people are going to have to drive the car. Now, maybe this is me being a little bit OCD and hypercritical of other people, but in some parts of the world, people aren't great at driving manuals or stick shifts. America, I'm looking at you. And I was nervous that someone was going to mash my gears or mess up my clutch, and I just thought PDK would be a more safe option. Also, long miles, it's just a bit more relaxing, isn't it? My left leg would have got incredibly strong if I'd had a manual for this trip. So I get that a lot of you might be like, oh, well, that's just not even a Carrera T. But it is, because there are so many other elements of this car which are still special. No rear seats. That was a very important, I'm going to get out actually, a very important thing for me. It was no rear seats. It allows more space for bags, but also keeps the car's weight down a little bit. A lot of people who spec'd PDK and comfort seats also went for a sunroof. I really did not want a sunroof. So finding a car that had PDK, comfort seats, no rear seats and no sunroof was nearly impossible. However, this man right here, Alex from Porsche Guildford, nailed it and managed to find this absolute beauty. Also got a fire extinguisher, which I guess is helpful because, yeah, I'll be doing many, many miles. And I don't know why that's helpful, but it's cool. Bose surround sound. Look at these are the door tags and toggles, and that's what I mean about this car being a little bit different and just having a bit of flavour to it over and above a Carrera or Carrera S, which do a similar job. And let's face it, the Carrera S is more powerful, but this just feels cool. Now, the Carrera T is based on an old 70s 911T, and what I liked was that car, the 70s car, was sort of used for touring, for rallies, for long distance trips, and I was like, oh, well, I love that story because I love any cars with stories. And in fact, if you hop on Instagram or just Google 911T, you'll see pictures of the old cars doing awesome, awesome things. And in fact, I think there's an old 70s 911T going around Australia at the moment from South Africa, and it was beautiful and it was stunning. And so yes, I liked that symmetry. And whilst a Carrera S is more powerful and a Carrera does effectively the same job, it just doesn't have that feeling, that story. So I am so excited about the prospect of spending time with this car. I have never driven one. I might drive down the road and hate it, but I don't think that's going to happen because, as I've mentioned, I love the Porsche brand. I love the 911. It's like a forgotten car these days. The GT cars are so special and so brilliant and so hyped. People forget that the standard 911s are as brilliant. They're just so usable. Before I go today, because as I mentioned, this is not the collection day, I do have one very important test for this car. Whilst I have got the roof rails ready for a roof box, I need to see what kind of size suitcase or what kind of size bags I can actually fit in the car as it is before I get the roof box. So I have a prop, the biggest suitcase I could find, and I'm now going to see whether it fits in the front boot, behind the front seats, or whether I'm going to have to get a pretty big roof box. Hurricane! Right, let's try. I'm going to try the front boot first because that's the most logical. However, I do know that from my time with the GTS in the summer, this boot isn't huge. Well, actually, no. Look at. Oh, I mean, I don't even have to try. That I'm taking a picture of that. That is exceptional. Don't even need the roof box anymore. Brilliant. Well, there we go. Alex, we're done. Sorted, mate. Worked a treat. Just to check what space I've got behind. Actually, let's put this seat forward a little bit. They're not fully electric seats, but they're enough. Oh no, hold on a sec. How have I done that? So wait, should I pull it forward? No, what? There we go. And now, okay, so let's see if this goes. Oh my God, look, this car this is better than an estate car. I mean, look at that. Another photo, ladies and gentlemen. Winning! This is bigger than a Macan. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, you now know the car that I'll be using for the majority of Drive the World, this Carrera T. However, the next time you see it, it might look slightly different. As I mentioned, it is off to Yanamai's for a sort of Drive the World livery, and then I've got to get the roof box, and there's a couple of other small things happening before it goes on a boat in, yeah, way too soon. I don't know, what, 7 days? No, 8 days. Panicking. Anyway, I'm so excited. I hope you are excited as well. Plenty more to come, more information on why I chose this car in future videos. But give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, if you're excited, if you're ready for Drive the World, and make sure you stay subscribed for plenty more videos to come.